They did.
Now, draw, boys!
Inspector Williams, come in, have a seat. I just want to compliment you on your fine showing at the karate demonstration. I hate that I couldn't be there, but the sheriff in this county duty calls. Thank you, Sheriff Taylor. That's a nice compliment. But I'm sure you didn't call me in just for that. Look, I feel we could populate a murder in this community. Right now, it's just a missing persons case. And it might not even be that. The reason I called you in, it was William Rivers. His native name is Billy Two Rivers, and it's my understanding that you served with this man in the military. You know him, you know his behavior. And that might be our only way of tracking him down. That might be our only way to possibly find out where those foul play. So what it is, I feel that he could have been murdered in this reenactment of the West. Right out in front of everybody. Nobody suspecting anything. He was on the bad guy's side. He could have been shot, carried off the yard. And the audience possibly thinking that that was part of the act. That's what we got to find out. That's why I need your help. Sheriff Taylor, I hope that it's just a missing person case. I hope that it's nothing to it, but I will work with you and try to rule this out. Okay, I'll be in contact. Thank you very much. Look, buddy, us cowboys are tired of you nosing around here asking questions, accusing us of something we're not guilty of. Every time that I ask something about Billy Two Rivers, everything gets quiet. And it seems like somebody wants to shut me up. I've been physically attacked more than once. And most of it comes from asking questions. Now look, if you've got the answers, I want to know them. Got nothing to hide? Give me the answer. We'll put you down. Just how lucky do you feel?
Want to lick your silver spurs upon the golden stairs. Got to ride the right road, brother. Gotta make your skin skedaddle. Get old safe and now your saddle. If you wanna clink your silver spurs upon the golden stairs. That means you, mister, that means you, sister, that means me, and everybody's gotta share. You can't be a devil's rooter, gotta be a square shooter. If you wanna clink your silver spurs upon the golden stairs. If you want to clink your silver spurs upon the golden stairs. Thank you.
If there's been a murder in that fashion, there's got to be some type of evidence, possibly a blood stain or something. Surely the fluorescent team could have came up with something. Look, Mr. Williams, let me fill you in on the history of Meadows County. What it is to Meadows, back through the ancestors. They brought up acres and acres of land when it sold for 10 cents or less an acre. And it was handed down to the children, the grandchildren. So, Mr. John Meadows, he runs this town. He's the man in charge now. And when the interstate went through, he had to give way to the interstate. But he became a very rich man. A very rich man. He controls his county. The town was here first. But he stopped all factories, shopping centers, and other means of employment from coming in. This is a tourist site. He has reenactments of the West. He was a historian. He loved the West. So what I'm saying, I just feel that Mr. Rivers could have been murdered. When I'm saying murdered in this reenactment of the West. All we got to go on is Mr. Rivers' behavior. What I'm saying is, in the military, he was a good person till he got to drinking. When he got to drinking, he got mean. What it is, he liked the high standard of living. What I'm saying might not have anything to do with a mob hit. It might not have to do anything with anybody owing him money. He probably wasn't connected with drugs in any way. Now this is just a wild guess. I feel that whoever killed him, I feel he had a quick temper. He's quick to fight. Somebody could have been out to settle a lot of debt, and that could have cost him his life. That's what I'm saying.
Silver-haired daddy of mine. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase the lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Just to comfort and solace you there. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase the lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Thank you.
No, the forensic team has been in. They found no blood stains. Possibly the man could have bled from the inside. Possibly he fell on a bale of hay. Well, I don't know why the cowboys use it. I don't know what year they started baling hay. It wouldn't give them any protection hiding behind the bale. That's part of the act. It could have been a planned act. Let's just say if Mr. Rivers fell on this bale of hay and bled in it all, possibly the blood was taken away with the bale of hay. I don't know. There's no evidence to convict this man. There's no evidence to convict anybody for possibly killing this man. There's no signs that he's dead, or something just don't seem right. What I'm saying is, what you're saying, that man was shot and he was ushered out. It was all part of the show, and people thought that it was a show, no foul play. Possibly the man bled from the inside. Possibly he fell over a bale of hay. And that could have been part of the act. So what I'm saying is the blood could be in the hay, but the hay's been removed. Well, what I can tell you about Mr. Rivers, unlike most Native Americans, he lives high class. What I'm saying, he lives in a brick home. He made good money, employment. But all these clubs and whatever he goes to, it just money-wise, it don't match up. He seems to be living beyond his means. I don't know where he's involved with any crime organization. I don't know that it was a crime hit. I don't know that it wasn't. And I don't know that it's any foul play. Well, that's what I want you to do, Mr. Williams. Rule it out. Rule out foul play. And track Mr. Rivers down. Track Mr. William Rivers down.
You men spread out.
He got my gun.
Well, let's get out of here. These mosquitoes about to eat me up.
No,
I think that we could be on to something. Things are getting hot. The questions that I'm asking, people don't like it. I think you could be right. I mean, there's no evidence of foul play, but I can see the reaction. I can see the reaction in the eyes. I can see it. So what I'm saying, I just stay with it and possibly something will give. What it is, Mr. Williams, there's a lot of crimes in this community that I've got to deal with. I've got to try to stop murder. Cut down on unnecessary fighting. Possibly somebody could get killed from it. I've got to enforce the law. I've got to be there on any 911 call. I've got to be there when needed. And what I'm saying is, until we see that it's foul play, what I'm saying is going to cost the county a lot of money to bring a task force in, when it might not be necessary. I don't know, but I just feel that the killer will come to us. What we got to do is trick this man. We got to trick him into making him think that we know more on him than we really do. What I'm saying is, we'll watch the reactions. Maybe we might come up with something. Well, just keep up the good work.
Hour of the dawn, moving tenderly, her memory still lingers on. An angel of the night, a moonlit reverie, a star of love so bright shines on my rose of old Pawnee. Sweet are the dreams I hold in my heart as I go wandering along. Long are the hours since we drifted apart. Deep in my heart is a song. An angel of the night, a moonlit reverie, a star of love so bright shines on my rose of old Pawnee. Sweet are the dreams I hold in my heart as I go wandering along. Long are the hours since we drifted apart. Deep in my heart is a song. An angel of the night, a moonlit reverie, a star of love so bright shines on my rose of old Pawnee, shines on my rose of old Pawnee. Sorry about that, dancers. We'll send that out to her over in Knoxville, wherever she is.
We control the parks, the farms, the apartments, and everything else in the county.
From the information I've gathered, you took a bullet in the leg from some madman in an apartment.
Yeah, I took a bullet in the leg, but we still brought him in alive.
You're a trained officer. Do you mean you couldn't shoot straight and bring that man in?
Well, I shot at him and I came close to him, but I missed him, but I had orders to bring him in alive, so I couldn't kill him.
I've read the reports, and the man got time in a mental hospital. And he'll be out on the streets before we know it, and I believe you made a bad choice here.
Huh? Howdy, how are you?
Sheriff, the bank on Baker Road's been robbed. Bank robbers took refuge in the housing project. It's got victims.
Well, let's get out there. I want to be with my men. I want to bring this crook in alive. Now.
Sheriff, I give you a good compliment on bringing that man in. Now, I was out there with you. You done a fine job.
Well, I think my men deserve the credit for bringing this guy in. He's a good representative of the law in this community. He done a great job.
I think you used poor judgment. That man was shooting to kill, and you should have brought him down.
I feel we did the right thing. We got a man in there with tear gas before something bad happened.
Bob, you wasn't even in your jurisdiction. How did you know what went on?
I wish I had been there.
Jump in my case.
Sorry about that.
You
I
wasn't
wish I
even
was
there.
there.
What would you have done if you had been there?
Sheriff Winslow, what I wanted to talk with you about. I'm sure Bob's been over to see you. Bob, being John Meadows, I heard that he was harassing one of your deputies for not shooting a man. What I'm saying is, he thinks that he controls Meadows County, my county. But I've got to win this next election. If I can just hold my composure and win, in the next 4 years, I'll get things straight. But we can use this man.
Yep. It'd be good.
Well, look, I'm going to send him out to talk with you.
Okay.
Well, look, I'll be glad to pour you a drink. I mean, I know you.
That's all right.
What it is, you can let some of your deputies cruise you around. I know, sheriff of the county, you can't get caught for driving under the influence. When I would drink too much, I'll put my deputies to work to carry me where I want to go.
Yeah.
Can't pay them for nothing. Of course, the county pays them. What I'm saying is, he thinks that he controls Meadows County, my county. But I've got to win this next election. If I can just hold my composure and win.
It makes yourself president in all these places. He's just that type guy. Just shows up.
You know, I think I can gather more information by just being around the people and listening to them talk. Like, well, that's just I suspect somebody. Well, they tell me one story one day and one the next. Now, what would you suggest? How do I talk to people like that, especially in a bar?
Well, you need to get them off to the side and not have them around a crowd of people. Get them over to one side, just one-on-one, you and them. And a lot of times they'll tell more than they would. They'll open themselves up more than they would being around a group of people. So you need to move them away and do a conversation with them off to the side.
What do you think?
That's good thinking there. I hadn't even thought of that. I bet you that's the case. I bet you anything that's what's going on. We need to check that out good.
What would you suggest? How would we go about checking it out?
Some of the guys that I used to work with is really good at that. And they would really do that. They'd do a good job for me. I'll contact them and see what kind of plan they can put together.
Okay, what I plan on doing, I'm planning on, you know, hanging around at the bars and kind of working undercover. I might get more information like that. If I say I'm an investigator, there'll be enough trouble here if somebody don't ask questions, answer questions.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to gather what information I can out of loose talk.
Okay.
What we got is nothing. What we got is all in Officer Denbo's mind. It's one thing to live in a fantasy world and have conspiracy theories, but it's another thing. We've got real crimes and real investigations, and this is reality. We've got to get busy. We don't have time for fantasy.
All I'm saying is that somebody is going to make a mistake. What I'm saying is, if it's somebody out of town, I don't think we can catch them. You might get a task force and track them down 10 years from now. What I'm saying, we don't know that there is a murder. But there's a strong point that we have got a missing persons case. Now what I'm saying is, Mr. Rivers, he traveled a lot. He could have just get tired of the place and just left. Wanted privacy for himself. He could have got in some brutal fight and possibly for his own good felt that he should be getting out of town. I don't know what the problem is. He could possibly be living under another name. I don't know. Start with, I don't know that we're even we even got a case. But I feel that we should find out.
It's one thing to live in a fantasy world and have conspiracy theories, but it's another thing. We've got real crimes and real investigations, and this is reality. We've got to get busy. We don't have time.
Now, what it is, Officer Scott, you insist on doing everything your way. Everything's supposed to be so complex. There's nothing wrong with just plain down-to-earth investigating. What I'm saying is, if I ask enough questions, get enough information, I feel that I can track the man down if he's living. And if it's not, well, it might take a task force to come up with a body if there's foul play. No, you don't want me to solve this case. You don't want me to solve it. And you might be the guilty party. Don't look good on your part, Officer Scott. Not at all. What I want to talk with you personally about Sergeant Scott. You heard about him putting these drug people down.
Yeah.
And he could have called for help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I'm saying is, if we know what the problem is, we got the men to handle it. But no, he wanted to handle it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But, do you feel he could be a suspect?
I do and I don't.
Go on.
The way he acts at certain places, he has a tendency to overstate stuff, like he's covering up something as a suspect. And then at other times, you would think he was innocent. So, I don't know either way.
Well, so what I'm confused about now, if he had anything to do with the
Range up in the sky, on horses snorting fire, fire. As they ride on, hear their cry. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-yo. Ghost riders in the sky. As the riders looked on by him, he heard them call his name. Cowboy! If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-hey! Yippee-yi-yo! Ghost riders in the sky. Yippee-yi-hey! Yippee-yi-yo! Ghost riders in the sky. Ghost riders in the sky.
We started all this, we started leaving it all.
Oh, he just did that. Yeah.
Milo.
I remember right through me when they rode across the they would ride with a 6-gun and a sun. They taught me never and I remember hop along in wrecks and how they always got their man and the girl too sometimes. How about old Ash LaRue?
How about him?
Sunset Carson too. How they used to ride down
What I'm saying is he runs this county. That I found out. Because there's no factories. And I mean, what I'm saying is these touring sites, this way of making money, well, he can put these people out of business and they're just completely out of work. Nothing to support their families. What I'm saying is, this John Mattis, he's a powerful man. What I'm saying is, all these cowboys you see with badges on, what I'm saying, they're on his force. The county has a rifle, sheriff's patrol, and he's got his own men. And they have the authority to enforce the law. I mean, they run this county. Now, what I'm saying is, keep this county straight. I've got to stay in. I've got to stay in. So what I've got to do is go on and enforce the law. Don't make that big an issue that I think possibly he's out of focus. And hope to win the election next year. What I'm saying is, this Mr. Mattis, he's a powerful man. I mean, all these touring resorts, if these people out of work, they got families to support. And where's the next dollar coming from? They will not get it in this county.
The one that threw your brother in jail. No, not me. He prepped here. This one? Had been him, I'd have shot him. I think it'd be a good idea to shoot you both. I think you guys ought to slap some leather while you got your...
Mr. Meadows, I've been trying to get in contact with you. I mean, you're missing a gunfighter. And you're going on with these reenactments of the West as if nothing ever happened.
We all have a schedule to maintain. If the people supporting us pull out, we all go hungry.
Mr. Meadows, I realize that you are in the tourist business in reenactments of the West. You are not a suspect. Possibly one of your cowboys had a live round in his chamber. And it was an accident. I mean, Mr. William Rivers, he is missing.
Sure, my heart bleeds for all those people who have passed on. In a business, you don't quit when things don't go the way you want them to.
Mr. Meadows, your cowboys have attacked me 2 different times when I was in the wooded area trying to gain information on Mr. William Rivers. Possibly he was in that area, possibly a gunfight. So far, I've found nothing yet. Makes your cowboys look guilty. Again, Mr. Mattis, you are not a suspect. Maybe you can help me get to the bottom of this case. Think about it. All I'm asking is just think about it. Billy Two Rivers, he had a different attitude than most Native Americans. What it is, his attitude was, let the white man kill the cow and I eat the steak. The buffalo is gone. Frontier is over. It's over for me, it's over for you. The difference is, you don't want it. They got shopping centers and interstates built in places that you used to play your fields. The frontier is over for you, but you don't seem to care. And he told me in Vietnam, he said, this is the last frontier left.
You know, if you live in a fantasy world, we've got real cases. We've got reality here, real cases and real crimes to be solved and real investigations. We don't have time for fantasies.
No, you just don't want me to solve this case. Then maybe you're the guilty party. Could be corruption within this side of the sheriff's office. Now we know that Mr. Mattis controls this town. Maybe controls you.
When it's twilight on the trail, as I lope along, the world is but a dream, and the ripple of the stream is my song. When it's twilight on the trail, and I rest once more, my ceiling is the sky, and the grass on which I lie is my floor. Never ever have a nickel in my jeans, never ever have a debt to pay. Still I understand what real contentment means. Yes, I was born that way. When it's twilight on the trail, and my voice is still, please plant this heart of mine underneath the lonesome pine on the hill. When it's twilight on the trail.
What it is, Mr. Williams, maybe I brought you in for nothing, but something just don't seem right. I know you go with the gut feeling, and this time I've got some feeling that something's not right. Starling, we don't know that there is a murder. But there's a strong point that we have got a missing persons case. Now what I'm saying is, Mr. Rivers, he traveled a lot. He could have just get tired of the place and just left. Went pricey for himself. He could have got in some brutal fight and possibly for his own good felt that he should be getting out of town. I don't know what the problem is. He could possibly be living under another name. I don't know. Start with, I don't know that we're even we even got a case. But I feel that we should find out. Well, just keep up the good work.
You know, these foreigners come over here and get their citizenship, and they start these gangs, and especially the Chinese. I got some rough ones because they do this karate, stuff, and it looks important to these people, and they get into the gangs with them because they like that karate look, and they feel like, you know, if they can learn that, they'll be the greatest. So that entices them to join that karate stuff. They come in and start these little groups, and that's not really good.
Oh, these gangs, they're tough. But they aren't responsible for Billy Two Rivers. I know what happened. I don't know who the guilty party is, but I tricked these men into thinking that I know more on them than I really do. They think that I know enough on them to send them to prison. So they'll be coming after me. But to get these men in the open, I've got to handle it on my own. Sheriff Winslow, I really appreciate you working with us on this case. Now, we finally got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And what it is, I've talked with Inspector Williams, and this is going to be another case. So, well, I guess we might see more of Inspector Williams.
Yeah, probably. I would expect so.
It's been nice talking with you, and I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Mr. Meadows, I just want to stop in and give you the good news. We found William Rivers, Billy Two Rivers. He's in the hospital. What happened was he was robbed in the wooded area with two men with clubs, and they left him for dead. Then a good Samaritan came along and got him to the hospital, and he didn't want to get involved, so Billy told him, it's just a fight that I lost. That's what he told people in the hospital. What happened at that Western show, it was a woman stalking Mr. Rivers. He was worried about her showing up, so he came prepared. He took a duster and a wig, and sure enough, she showed up at the last gunfight. So he put under the duster and the wig, and he got out without being suspected. People signing autographs and taking pictures. So there was no foul play on that part. Well, I just want to let you know that everything is okay. Well, I wish you the very best week or tour in sight. It's nice getting to know you, Mr. Meadows.
How about old Lash LaRue?
How about him?
Sunset Carson too.